Boxing King Media. We're here with Johnny Nelson at the BYD showroom in Sheffield. I understand you're picking a car, but I've been trying to get you for an interview, Johnny, to react to the fight last week. But we meet at this car showroom selling electric cars.
I'm not selling, no, I'm picking one up. But yeah, you know what, BYD, they got in touch and said, get yourself down here. These are the guys that supply Tesla. I've come down and the cars are bad, so I'm looking forward to spinning out of here with a nice little motor.
Well, whilst people are watching this segment, hopefully I'm going to overlay the video of you picking your car up, and obviously it's just behind me right now.
Let's have a look. Let's have a look at this bad boy. Damn! Jesus! Oh my God! Looks a bit like a Porsche stroke Tesla. Nice. Big thank you to BYD UK. Massive thanks. I don't know what to say. This looks wicked. Thank you. Get involved, man. Get involved.
What's inside?
Oh, come on. Just have a nosy. That's right. This is bad. Oh, wicked. Oh, this is beautiful, this is. Listen, I'm not even a car man, but now I am.
Nice motor. You normally got a 4x4. You're going to be driving around in one of these, what, 300, 400 brake horse?
Yeah. You're talking gobbledygook now, because when you talk like that to me, I know nothing. I'm just turn the key and shoot off. So I'm actually looking forward to moving with the times, should I say, moving with the times.
Did you ever see yourself driving electric before?
No, I didn't. But it's the future. It's you got to think about that.
Just speaking to the chap at the showroom, I think one of the things that I find fascinating, he said about the car battery, where in the winter cars normally lose power, but they've got some technology where whatever the range is, you get it all year round.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Definitely, you know, the technology is taken from these guys, and so they're one step ahead of almost everybody in this. So I'm fascinated, flattered, and I'm intrigued. So we'll see.
BYD are also the sponsors of the European Championships coming up in football. I think we've got something special to give away. So
yes,
I'll let you explain.
Yeah, a couple of tickets for the England v Denmark game in Frankfurt. That's on June the 20th. What you've got to do is sign up to BYD. Give them a follow on Insta. Give me a follow as well, and we'll just pick the winner randomly. They get the 2 tickets.
So you're going to do an Instagram post about BYD in the next hour?
Yep, next 4 hours.
Before this interview goes out. And if anyone likes that post and also follows BYD and follows yourself, they go into a draw. They've got a comment on the post as well. Yeah, they go into a draw to win these 2 tickets.
Without a doubt. So if you're a football fan, you know, it's heaven. It's a plus. I'll probably try and throw something else in, but we'll wait until it rolls on.
Just confirm, it's England-Denmark game?
England-Denmark, June the 20th, and it's in Frankfurt.
And that's 2 tickets. So any football fans out there listening to the interview, you've got a brilliant opportunity to win some tickets. Just hit Johnny Nelson up on Instagram.
Give them both a follow, and that's it. That's all you got to do.
Happy days.
I'm seeing that.
Let's talk about the fight, Johnny. I know you did an interview the other day where you talked a little bit about the outcome, etc. I think I want to start off with the whole fight week build-up. Everyone was expecting Tyson to put it on Usyk, but he was respectful all throughout the week, saying that he's the best fighter in fighting. I know prior to that he's always said that he's a middleweight, etc. But obviously knowing Tyson, that's the showman. That's the guy that comes on camera, tells people what they want to hear, you know, and he gets clicks, he gets views. But the real Tyson Fury was in that press conference where he gave him his respect. Were you surprised by that, or did you want him to be the other Tyson?
I wasn't surprised by that, because Tyson has many different characters depending on who he's fighting. With Usyk, he realised a lot of what he was saying months before the fight were lost in translation, so he knew calling him every name under the sun didn't work. He knew whatever he said, little comments, trying to play the fool to catch the wise, trying to bully, didn't work with Usyk, because Usyk stays stony face. Now, he probably understands a lot more English than you think, but as far as Tyson, I think, was concerned. It wasn't. It was just bouncing off. And so you saw the demeanour of Tyson. You know, Tyson's trying to get in his head but actually it turned the other way around. I say Tyson Fury is the best boxing 4 player currently fighting, which means he'll get into your head months before you fight. He'll make you hate him and make you obsess about him. And he's brilliant at it. And the one thing that always stands out with me with Tyson, and people don't seem to understand the value of what he's saying, is he's a fighting man. And when I say he's a fighting man, what that means is when you get into a fight, you've got to, any which way how, you're going to make sure you win that fight. You know, it's not just physical, it's mental as well. Tyson's brilliant at it. He uses physicality. He uses his boxing ability. He uses his size and everything combined with those mind games. And it overalls most fighters, gets the better of them. Well, every fighter he's boxed. Vintage example is him against Wilder, second fight. Look how he just put it on him. He put it on him, used his size, mauled him, bullied him, roughed him down, dropped his knees on him so he had to carry his weight. You get that version of Tyson fighting, that version of Tyson up until Saturday was unbeatable. There's a thing Brendan used to say, it's called 3 smart. You can be too smart, so you're too smart for everybody else. 3 smart is when you outsmart yourself. I think Tyson outsmarted himself and he got suckered into maybe the hype, maybe the things that were said about him in regards to him being the best boxer out there, best boxing brain out there. He's got the best fighting brain. And so when he went in there with Usyk to actually try and outbox him, and even before the fight, I said, Tyson is not a better boxer, he's a better fighter. That combined with his boxing ability and his physicality is why he should win. Tyson neglected that. You saw in the first 3 rounds, I thought he lost the first 3 rounds. He was showboating. You showboat when you're either trying to fool your opponent to think, I've got your number here, or you're ahead. He wasn't ahead. He wasn't in a position where, as far as I was concerned, could afford to do that. And the result answers that as well. You saw from round 4 onwards, Tyson put it on him. He used his physicality, he used his fighting brain and boxing brain, and he put it on him. He had Usyk hurt. He had him in trouble. Then he got clipped. And that...
in that moment, before we get to him getting clipped, because I spoke to Dom yesterday, and he said when he hurt Usyk, he never followed it up. And Dom's opinion was that he wasn't fit enough. Obviously, I'm not sure. What do you make of that?
I don't believe he wasn't fit enough. I do believe the pace Usyk set made him work at a pace that he's not comfortable working at. But he was fit enough because Greg Mannett's an unbelievable dietitian. So he made sure he had the nutritious values in him. And he's been training. No excuses in regards to overtraining, because remember, Usyk had trained as well. So both fighters had to put the same amount of work in. I think Tyson Fury, when it gets to the championship rounds, and you've got to put it on him. You've got to dig in deep, and that's what makes a champion. Tyson Fury neglected that, and his corner telling him he was ahead. The dysfunction in the corner, 3 noises shouting in his ear. You need calm. You need calm. You need precise action. You need simple, clear instructions. Do X, Y, Z. Get out there. Get it done. You could sense the desperation in the corner because that's where everybody's shouting left, right, and centre to him. I think Tyson has got the beating of Usyk. I think he ended up being 3 smart and outsmarted himself. I think Usyk deservedly won. I think Tyson is on the decline. I don't think Tyson will fight again.
I want to challenge that. And when you say he's on the decline and he won't fight again, we saw with the scorecards, he lost by 1 or 2 rounds. How can you be on the decline when you lose to an all-time great?
Okay, all right, let me just drop it.
Just want you to explain.
That's cool, that's cool. So many times you've watched boxing and they tell you you've seen something you haven't seen. So because the scorecard said X, Y, Z, they're telling you you haven't seen something you've seen. I didn't see that. I had Usyk up by 4 rounds. And I'm quite sure there's a large majority of people had the same thing. So just because the scorecard said one thing, it doesn't mean that's what you saw and you're wrong. it means that's what their opinion. So you don't be fooled. Don't let me say to you, believe me, not your lying eyes. You saw what you saw. So the scorecards can say what they want. In my opinion, I thought Usyk won by 4 rounds. In my opinion, I thought when Tyson reverted to his boxing and fighting ability, remember that boxing and fighting ability with his physicality, you saw that in the middle round, that's when all that worked for him. As soon as he neglected that, that's when the tide definitely turned for him, because Usyk was hurt. I've never seen him hurt as bad in any fight, Usyk. And so with that, I just think Tyson, he dropped the ball. I do think he dropped the ball. But then again, lifestyle, things that are going on, when he's surrounded by people that are not going to be straight with him, tell him how it is, challenge him.
Do you think his dad's like that? Or do you think
his dad is, but his dad is not. Dad is in a titular position because he's got so many other voices telling him, do this, do that, do this. He ignores his dad, or he listens to his dad so far, you know. And his dad, unfortunately, his deliverance isn't great. You know, it's from the outside looking in. He's shouting, he's barking. I get where his dad's coming from. He knows what his son's capable of doing. He's saying, get on him, use your size, use what you've got, jump on him. I totally understand that, because that works for Tyson.
Is that what John was saying? Because I've not watched it back yet.
Yeah, that's what works for Tyson. Well, no, towards the end he was saying, don't get in trouble or something like that. You can listen to the corner. But I know that's what John sees. Everybody overcooked it, they oversmarted it, but they understood how tough this fight was. The reason why I say Tyson Fury will struggle to fight again, and I don't care what Frank Warren says, I don't care what Spencer Brown says. These are not fighting folk. Tyson has to look at that fight. Tyson is from a fighting brain. He's got to get it in his head and think, oh my God, that happened to me. I got rocked out by this gap teeth, jumped up middleweight. All the things I've said and put the kind of pressure on myself. I've let this guy do this to me. And Tyson's head will be absolutely fried. Now, to use the mental health issues as an excuse for his behavior is wrong, because it doesn't justify saying certain things.
But he hasn't said that, though. I think that's come from Frank Warren, hasn't it?
That's right. And that's what I was aiming to. When Frank said that, I totally agree with Simon Jordan. Simon Jordan shut him down and said, yo, behave yourself. Come on, it's like you're grabbing at straws. You know, don't do that. You know, and even the build-up, the fight build-up, to me, and I know this is a bit controversial, and I don't know if you're going to have to cut it out or not. You know, when something bad happens, my mum especially when I was younger, something bad happened. As a black man, if there's a crime, it's a really bad crime, the first thing you think, even though it's a bad crime, you think, God, I hope he wasn't black. I hope he's not black. Because it reflects on all of us. Right? And that's in that with Tyson and what was happening the fight week up to it, he was the only name they're going to call. So everything that happened that fight week, when his dad's butting somebody, all the noises being made, all the things being said, X, Y, Z, it's only Tyson's name they're calling out. They might say his dad is X, Y, Z, but they represent him. So as a Brit abroad, now as a Brit, I'm thinking, you know, when you go abroad, around the world, we class as hooligans. And that represents me as a fighter. If I'm a casual fan and I see all that foolishness that's going on, that representation of our sport, that affects my sport that I love. We ain't all like that. It's a wrong impression. And in a way, I just felt, come on, man, don't do that. I understand the showmanship. I understand all that sort of stuff, but he's gone too far now. And I'm not going to say anything because I'm scared of being cancelled. I'm telling you how it is, and I'm quite sure I've never, ever seen or received messages of so many Brits happy a Brit lost, and that's wrong. And I thought, man, that's heavy, that is. A Brit boxer board, and Brits were saying, no, I'm kind of glad he lost.
Are you saying that's because of his traveller background?
Pardon?
Are you saying that's because of his traveller background?
No, not at all. As far as I'm concerned, Tyson went out there and he represented the UK.
He wears the UK flag when
he represents. It's not about the travel. The example I was trying to say to you is when he goes out there, when he's out there, he's representing us. His team are representing him. So when his team or him say and do whatever they do, they're representing him. And with the fight on such a level, he's representing us, British fight fans, British fighters. He's representing us. That's the responsibility of being a champion. I understand showmanship. I understand about putting bums on seats. But I also understand you've got to think to yourself, let's not shoot our sport in the foot. I'm gutted he lost. I mean, before the fight, I thought, you know what, Tyson's too big. He's got everything going for him. You know, I don't see Tyson losing. Regardless of my dream, I just misinterpreted him as a dream. But I'm gutted he lost. But in a way, I'm thinking, Tyson, if you can come back from this, I would love to say, yo, listen to me. Use what you got. Use what got you here in the first place. Don't overcook it. Don't be three smart and outsmart yourself. Because he can fight and he can box. He's a better fighter than he is a boxer. Put those together with that mentality he's got, he'll beat almost anybody and everybody. But he just got too smart for his own good.
Does so you're sticking with the opinion that it doesn't come back, and he?
I don't think he comes back. I think.
Let's
He might see this and he'll say, I'll show you. I'm telling you now, he'll watch the fight and his heart will be broken. And they are all going to talk him into, come on, Tyson, we can blah, 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 blah. Tyson's a very wealthy man. And I understand he gets bored, he gets frustrated, and he wants to fight. That's his medication. I think his head will be that fried, it will take him a lot to bring him back.
It's a weird one, because having been around him off camera, I don't think he'd be that distraught about it. I think he's one of these, the way he comes across, he just takes everything in his stride. And fine.
I don't think money's not his God. Yeah. So if they're saying, look, you're going to get paid X, Y, Z, he's a wealthy man. And I don't think money's his God. And so I think the motivation of a big payday for the rematch is massive. But I don't think money's his God. I do think as a fighter, especially when you've reached that level, especially when you've done the things you've done. This guy's a boxing historian. He quoted the history of heavyweight boxing, big guys against good little guys.
So he's going to know him coming back, and if he does beat Usyk, that goes down as
that's right,
a massive statement.
And does he think he can?
Training wise, if he does come back and rematch him, should he stick with the training? What do you think he needs to make?
I don't know. I like Sugar Hill. I think Sugar Hill's a smart guy. I think he needs to tidy his camp up. You know, and I know in the camp there's a lot of backslappers. Yes, man. Even his brother said it.
But you know, when you say that, who are you referring to?
I'm not referring to anybody in particular. You know, but there's a lot of backslappers that don't know the game, that are just justifying their job, and they'll tell him what he wants to hear.
But people have said this about AJ. They're saying, he's got backslappers.
Yeah, no, what's happened? What's happened to AJ?
From what I see, I think he's still got the same people around.
Has he really? He hasn't. A lot of people that were in AJ's camp from day one have disappeared. They're not there anymore. So his uncle's not there. And I'm not saying his uncle's a backslapper. What I'm saying is he's thinned it down. There may be still people hanging around there that probably shouldn't be there. You've got to be with boxing-minded people, boxing folk that understand the game. Not understand, you understand the game.
From what I've seen, I think the people he has around him is obviously his S&C coach, his physiotherapist, dietitian, trainers, his dad.
All right, so answer me this. Why did his own brother say that? I'm only quoting what his brother said. Why did his own brother? And he's in camp. So who was he referring to?
After the Ngannou fight, I think.
Okay, so who was he referring to?
No idea.
I'm not even in camp. It's common sense. It's common sense. So if your own people, your own blood is saying, yo, listen, you know, because they've got your best interest at heart, you've got people whispering here that actually are bullshitting the way through here.
You know, as a British public, when AJ took them losses from Usyk, majority was saying he needs to pack it in, he needs to pack up boxing. I'm pretty sure you might have said something similar, that his days are done. Now the same people are saying AJ wipes out Fury, and then do you think you over scrutinise people when they lose at the top?
Okay, then so say for instance AJ now, he got in there with Ngannou. And AJ's a fighter. The man that beat him twice, well, was Usyk. Usyk's still there. AJ may come back and end up fighting for the IBF title. Don't mean he's, you know, on paper, he's a 3-time heavyweight champion, but is he? Because we know who the heavyweight champion is. It's the governing bodies that are farting about, separating them all to try and mislead the public. So once you know there's a man in your division that's better than you, I'm telling you, he's a former champion. I thought I was the best in my division, regardless of what anybody else thought. AJ at one point thought he was the best in his division. Now he knows he's not. Fury knows he's not. So how are these people, when you're at such a high heavyweight champion, how are these people going to motivate themselves? Now AJ's got in there with Ngannou, did an amazing job. What he should have done, That should have been a done deal. And what's the motivation? What if they say all of a sudden, yeah, you've done that, box Hrgovic or Dubois for the IBF title, where you going next? Usyk again. You know, you don't think, there's somebody there that's got the better of you. And I said when AJ lost, to Usyk twice, I thought, you know what, that's him done, man. Because in his head, if he can't get his head around the fact that, you know what, I am not the best fighter in the world. People watching this have never been world champions. They never truly believe they are the best world champion. And it's a hard thing to accept. All of a sudden you're in the queue with everybody else. So then you're a bounty hunter. You're just chasing the money. I don't think AJ is a money chaser. I don't think Tyson Fury is a money chaser. I think these guys will go through the motion to a certain point. As long as Usyk is around, Houston, we have a problem.
Okay. I want to give you 3 questions, just one-word answers.
Yep.
If it happens, Fury fights AJ next, who wins?
AJ.
AJ fights Usyk in the 3rd fight.
Usyk.
And if Fury fights Usyk in a rematch?
Depends on what he's learned. Usyk turns up and gets the job done. I mean, if Fury turns up and gets the job done and uses everything that's got him there in the first place, I'd say Fury.
But do you think he could?
I think he could. I just don't know where how his brain is fried. Where his head's at. And that's why I said I'll be very surprised if this man comes back. I'll be very surprised.
Fascinating. He's come back from worse. He's come back from 27 stone. Alcohol, drugs.
So this man got himself in supreme condition, the best condition he'd ever been in his life. An amazing training camp. Did everything right. And look what happened. So he's come back from worse. So where do you go from here? What else can I do? Where can I go?
We saw AJ bridge the gap in the rematch with Usyk. Could Fury bridge the gap based on the experiences?
Yes, he could. He outsmarted himself. He went out there and he tried to outbox a guy that was a better boxer than him. Like AJ did, he's thinking, I'm going to box you. Use your size, use your physicality, use your power, use what you got. They let the smaller guy outfox him, outbox him, outmoved him. Instead of using what you've got. You saw Fury capable of doing that. You saw it in rounds 4 to round 8. You saw him. He overcooked it. He was 3 smart. So can he? Yes, he can.
Last question for you. Usyk post-fight breaks down in tears when his dad's mentioned, and he said he felt that his dad was in the room. I've spoken to him numerous times. Whenever I mention his dad, he always breaks down. I think his dad died like 10, 11 years ago. I compare it to when people talk about Brendan Ingle. I've seen you cry in interviews. What is it that makes that attachment like so hard to let go? Because you'd think you've had 10 years to like grieve. What makes you cry?
Love. And nothing will ever compare. Unless you've been through it yourself, you'll never understand it.
So it's the love you got for Brendan that makes you. So even I getting emotional, like, just because I'm reminded you of it. Yeah, because I think you could probably understand that better than anyone.
Totally. I felt for the guy. Felt for him.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's amazing to see for him to be top of his game, undisputed champion, and the moment his dad's mentioned, he breaks down.
Yeah, I get that. I do get it.
I see you obviously the same.
Yeah, I get it. Totally get it.
Johnny, it's been a pleasure.
Peace.
Appreciate your time, and BYD, hit them up. They're literally the takeover Tesla.
Follow the link. Get the football tickets too.
Thank you.